so much is changing right now in our industry. Instead of artists fronting and flexing and trying to outdo one another, and God forbid even fight over some hardware, why not try and outserve one another? Show respect for one another, lift one another up, like you were saying, Pooch. Like, how dope would it be if we are all trying to outdo one another with our respect and service, and breaking one another to how can we support you and outserve you in any way, shape, or form, man.
Gentlemen, Hip here, coming to you with another edition of the Tattooed Audience Podcast. And tonight I am accompanied by both my co-defendants, Mr. Matthew Clemmer and Joshua Carlton. And we have a very, very special guest, the humble, the passionate, the spiritual, the compassionate, the loving, the caring, the fucking killer tattoo artist that goes by Pooch. If y'all ain't heard of him, you need to hear about him. So keep watching this episode, and we get a real good look at what made and defined the one we call Pooch. So stay tuned and check it out.
I'm calling it right now. This is going to be your favorite episode yet. Brothers and sisters, we can't thank you enough for all your love, your support, and your faithfulness. It's been brought to my attention, if you really want to do something to bless us, to thank us, apparently simply hitting the like button on YouTube would be more impactful than what I ever knew, let alone subscribing to us on YouTube if you're not already. And then over on Spotify and Apple, please leave us a review. All of your listening and your comments to us mean the world to us. And do us a favor and just hit like on YouTube and leave us reviews on Spotify and Apple. And we're going to continue to serve you with our whole heart. Thank you so much. Pooch, where are you at in the country right now?
I'm in California.
Okay.
I'm in Cali right now.
Now we could take this one or two ways. We could just start and jump right in and see what magic flows.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Yeah, he's ready for option two. He's like, I'm in.
Straight shooter. Let's go.
I love it. I love the energy.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming about this interview. Let's go.
Yeah. He really has, Josh.
I think we're up to like 72. Is this episode 72?
This is episode 72.
Man,
that's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I watch all of them.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Pooch, do you mind just sharing briefly with Josh what you just shared with Hip and I about almost the distinction that you have for this show versus others, and that and what you just shared with us?
Yeah, everything as far as my pops and everything, or just the show
we
part?
can get to that, just the show part, because Josh, he was at a place where he was done doing interviews until we hollered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I've done a few, and they cookie cut everything, and they chop some stuff out.
Yeah.
And then I feel like they give the people all what they have to give them and don't tell the full story. You know what I'm saying? Right. So me, I have a brand now. I have a name. I do certain things. So now I just can't just hop on everybody's platform and speak and get their ratings up, and they chop some stuff out. So now I'm more or less like, okay, who's your interview with? Who is it going on? Who is you speaking about? Is this something positive or is it something that's negative? I don't want to do it. Sorry, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So honestly, when this came up, I was like, definitely. Let's go.
We don't chop it up, and we'll keep it as real as we do, because
and that's what I love.
That's the whole idea of the podcast. You know what I mean? Is like sitting down. These are the same conversations, Pooch, that we'd have at the show. We were hanging out after the show at a party. This is the same conversation. People want to be a fly on that wall.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us. I know I tell you all the time, but
thank you guys.
One of my favorite people, one of my favorite tattoo artists. I remember meeting you.
I love you to death, bro. Anything you need, I'm there, bro.
Always, man, always. You've always been there for me. I remember
always.
I remember discovering you for the first time, and I think you were like, I feel like you were doing someone's entire leg, like in a Renaissance kind of like a painting style, it wasn't Da Vinci, but it was very old painting style. I don't know if you remember that or not, but we didn't really know each other, and I just came up and I was like, holy fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got a lot done. But
I got a crazier story though.
Yeah.
I remember you coming to New York and did the convention out there. and you had your DVDs and stuff.
Right.
And I remember it was like early 2000s, and I was just, yo, Josh, I would study these DVDs all like it was going out of style, bro. I was like, okay, well, he's super loose. He does this, and he does that. I'm gonna do the same exact thing. So my whole tattoo career in black and gray was me staring at your stuff like, oh my God, this is it.
Oh man.
After I did that, like everything started and paved the way. So like, it was cool to see myself as a student of your work. And then you see my stuff and then you were like, oh my God, it's fucking amazing. To me, that was just like, okay, I made it. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
boy.
good. I'm good.
Yeah, you're one hell of an inspiration. That is for sure. How long have you been tattooing now?
26 years.
Yeah, I thought so. I
Wow.
thought it had been a while. Yeah, makes sense.
My
We're doing
God.
this for a long time. We're doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's beautiful. Oh. And, you know, you guys were just talking art there and acknowledging one another's portfolios. And I just heard Mr. Carlton tell you, Pooch, that you are an inspiration, which is so fucking true. And even though you guys were talking artistically, I got a feeling Mr. Carlton meant even above and beyond your portfolio.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Man, Pooch, I see you. And, of course, you know, you and I have only been able to slap hands and meet in the flesh just a couple times, but brother, who you are and how you show up in the world is a tremendous blessing. So just you being you has been an inspiration to me and so many, and I believe more than what you'd even realize, man.
Absolutely. So like here's a good example.
I thank you so much. I mean, that's some. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was just gonna say, here's a good example. You've been tattooing 28 years. Is that what you said?
Yes.
So
26.
26 years, but you've always been this really massive forward thinker, right? Like I'm very attracted to people who are on to the next thing. Like you're doing something amazing and you're almost like, yeah, you can have that, bro. I'm on to this now, right? So you don't need anything new or extra. You've made it. But yet you're going out and you're setting the path on, hey, why don't you make your booth like mine? Look how elegant my booth looks. Look how I'm changing up the game with my booth. There's 300 tattoo artists in here. I'm the only one thinking about doing my booth this way, and I'm like, not now, because I'm doing it too, So so I just really appreciate that,
Yeah.
No, I thank you so much, and it all stems from like I'm big on energies, man. I'm big on good vibes. Like I've came across some tattoo artists that I look up to who's fucking assholes. Excuse my language,
I know,
but
right? I know,
it's
man.
true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's true. So like, I was a young kid. I started at the age of 16.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was around when, you know what I'm saying, when all the heavy hitters, the OGs was getting started, and black was not allowed. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even looked upon that. So me, I just felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you're not talking about ink. You're talking about skin color.
Skin color, like
yes,
facts.
brother.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be totally honest with you. In the early '90s, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no such thing. There was no such thing. So me being me, I never allow this to define who I am. I allow for this to define who I am. When I go somewhere, I laugh. I'm constantly smiling. I wear polos to work. I wear slacks. My booth thing came about is because you got people who don't know, who see these Black Ink shows or see the ghetto stuff and see this and look at me and think like, oh, he's probably a hip hop artist. So I want everybody around me and my consumer stare at my booth and go, yo, I have to go to him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not that. You know what I'm saying? So my setup, my booth and everything is an extension of me. It's who I am. I'm coming to the show to dominate some shit. Like I'm not coming to the show to have beers around and hang around. I'm coming to the show to present me, and this is me, and this is me. You know
exactly. You're there to work, and that's the thing.
Exactly.
And your booth does do that. It's like a moth to a flame. You know what I mean? It looks like it looks like a Mac store or something. Is you're just like, what's going on over here? Because it showcases you as it should. And every time you walk over there, and I fucking guarantee you, he's working on something that you're not. So
and you nailed it. You nailed it, Pooch, by saying you big on energy. Because man, Your booth is fucking great, and you're right. Even the first time Hip saw it at Evergreen, he came home and told me, like, we gotta redo our booth. We gotta order the shit that Pooch got and get our fucking, like.
Yo, Hip is funny because he walked up to the booth. He says, "Man, you make us look bad," and walked away. I was like,
yeah.
He's like, "What you working with? What you working with? A bowl of fruit over there?"
Yeah.
And it's inviting too because he kills that front table.
Yeah.
And it just allows you to walk in and see what he's doing
It's so
and
smart.
what he's working on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, all the way down to like I'm even envious of his ritual, his setup, how he circles his ink caps in a circle. And it's like just I feel that me and you have a touch of like OCD, man, because like if my shit's not perfect, like we'll have apprentices come in and learn how to set all the artists up, but I always very often let them set me up because it's like I have to do it myself. Things have a place. If it's a millimeter off, it just doesn't feel right to me, and I get the sense that you're like that.
I'm super OCD. Like everything has to be clean. Everything has to be organized. Everything has its place. Like if I don't have everything in place, I can't perform well. What's crazy about the circle thing, it's a color wheel.
Yeah.
So that's how I set it up. So it allows me to not have to concentrate on my dipping. It lets me concentrate on the skin, and then my hand just move. I know exactly where every color is at.
Right.
And I can sit up and concentrate on my work,
Yeah. Looking back, it seems logical. It's weird that we're not all doing that, right?
Yeah.
Like what painter just sets his ink out in a straight line like a dumbass? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you see these palettes that these painters have used for years, and they're just like stacked up with this dry paint. Alizarin Crimson goes here. He's always got the same thing going on. Just go look at his work. You can clearly see he understands his palette, and he understands the power of probably of somewhat of a limited palette, I would guess.
Yes, very limited.
Yeah.
Very limited.
Yeah, you don't need a million things. You're an artist and you know how to make the colors you need, I have a question for you, if you don't mind me getting some secrets.
Yes, you can ask anything you want, bro. Anything you want.
I feel like you tend to gravitate towards a shorter stroke machine. Is that still something you've been doing?
Always.
Yeah. See, I'm real big on that myself. I go both ways. I'm an extremist in both ways. I like a 4.2 and as low as a 1.8. I know at one point you told me you had a 2.2 or 4, something like that.
2.4. I'm at a 2.6 now.
Yeah.
I love it.
You just get that incredible, like, butter smooth. It's kind of almost effortless, right? It's not as easy.
Effortless. Because here's the thing with me. Like, I'm like you, Josh. Like, I've been in this industry for a long period of time, and I don't use machines or pick up ink all because the next man all says that it's dope. Like, I really try everything out. And me, I used to draw a certain way and tattoo a certain way.
Yeah.
Now I kind of combine them both. Like, I draw the way I tattoo the way I draw.
Yeah, then you're always practicing
so for
your
me,
craft.
Always. You know what I'm saying? So for me, a shorter strokes allows me to have hand control. I can slow down and ease in, have it harder, or I can pull back and feather it out.
Yeah.
So shorter strokes for me just works better.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of artists, and they'll just struggle with, say, black and gray, right? And I'm like, do me a favor, hit up this 2.5 millimeter and call me tomorrow. And they're always like, holy shit, I can shade. You changed my life. And it's like, don't just use the machine that your buddy next to you loves, because we got different styles, right? Different nuances, and you know what I mean. Like, just you got to do the research. You got to put your time into it. Don't settle.
Exactly. Preach, preach, brother, preach.
Yes. Oh, so good.
And I'm interested to learn, and this was one of the big things that I was curious, so I'm glad you brought it up. But you talked about the early 90s, and it was like a struggle being black to get into this industry, and us in this podcast, and like me and Matt teach a class, TBM, and it's all about, and Josh and Riley talk about leaving tattooing better than we found it.
Yes.
So like I'm just curious as to like see, like, can you kind of like let us in on like what it was like? Because as the world's changing, tattooing is changing. We're in a renaissance of it, not only artistically, but I think culturally unifying. People that weren't allowed to have voices before are starting to have voices and are starting to show up. You got fucking, you Rock. There's some badasses. I remember having conversations a few years ago and people being like, there's no good black tattoo artists. And I'm like, oh, you must not know who Pooch is then. So it's exciting to see and to be a part of. And so I'm just curious, like, because I'm sure going down that road, there was a lot of struggle. And times where you wanted to be like, fuck this, and wanted to give in, but chose not to.
No, I never said fuck this. I've always like, oh, I can't do this. All right, cool. Stare me in 2 years. So okay, so I started tattooing in New York in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like I started at the age of 13. I knew I wanted to be a tattoo artist at the age of 13. I couldn't get no clippers. I couldn't get no machines or anything like that. So I would take a pair of clippers and have them bite and pour ink on it and tattoo my friends in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Like small little issues and stuff like that. Like that crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I would take my markers and draw things out. I was always a graffiti artist. I was always drawing. So to me, it just came like it was natural. It's just the whole technical part of tattooing. I couldn't get it. So I would go to St. Mark's in Bleecker in the Village. And this was like 95. I got my ass whooped all by a bunch of Hells Angels. You know what I'm saying? They basically told me, honestly, a nigga will never be a tattoo artist. You know what I'm saying? But at that time period, it was that, bro. Yeah. Like I don't say I can't stand people. Like it was that time period or when I started. It was that shit was not happening. Like it was not going down. Ain't nobody was sharing no information back then. Like there was not happening. So I didn't take it and was like, fuck everybody. I took it like, okay, he said I can't do it. Watch it.
Yep.
Come on.
And I went to school. It always hungered me. Like my passion for art is crazy. Like I live, sleep, eat, drink art. I don't think about anything else ever in my life. That's what I want to do. I knew I wanted to be a tattoo artist. You know what I'm saying? So how can I do that? So I went to college. I tattooed in college. I went to high school. I graduated from high school. I have a nursing degree and a basic art studies degree.
Oh, wow.
So basically everything you did education wise was leading up to
towards my art.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was leading towards my artwork. Like I can teach nobody to help me understand the skin. You know what I'm saying? So I went to nursing school, so I can understand the skin. I can understand how the skin works. I can understand how ointment works, how the healing process goes around, just certain little things. And then I went to art classes and I didn't learn shit in color theory in art classes. So I would take up some makeup classes and that's how I learned how to do portraits and undertones.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Certain things and all that. So I went to school to educate myself always in tattooing. I never was not going to be anything else. I always had tattooing on my mind. So once I finished college, I just traveled the world. Every shop I can think of that was dope or any artist, like, who's here right now, I would sit underneath them. I wouldn't say shit. I watched them work, study their DVDs. I would buy this. I would buy that. I would buy this. I would buy that. And I just practice. And I told myself I would never let this define me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would never have this hinder me and stick me in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to be a tattoo artist, I'm going to be the cleanest. If I'm going to go to a show, it's going to be the best fucking booth. If I'm going to tattoo something, it has to be 110. It can't be nothing else better. If I have an Instagram page, it has to be all about artwork. I'm not putting no weed up. I'm not putting no crazy things up. I'm not putting my family up. It's all about my artwork. So a lot of people can deny this, but you can't deny this.
Right.
I don't give a fuck how much you hate black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot say, I can't stand, but Pooch is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I wanted in the industry. So for me, it wasn't really hard because I traveled the world, dog. I've been to Germany. I got the key to Bolivia. Like, I've traveled to countries that half people was like shocked, like, oh my God, he's here, and I still, what's up?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So so it was rough, but I didn't let it define me. I wasn't trying to have it break me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I always say, be so good that they have to deal with you. There's no choice.
Yes.
Yes. And what's really humbling is none of us could ever imagine what you've been through. There's just no way. But even through that, the tiny bit you're telling us, every time I've ever seen you with your head down and working, if somebody has a question for you, you treat them like human. You talk to them. You don't tell them you're busy. You take time
You have to.
with these people that might have shit on you years ago. And that's a pretty impressive, man. You know.
You know what's crazy too is I got a chance to have a job with Roman, right? I owe him everything. That's my big brother. I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? He brought me in, and I would travel the world with him. Now, what's crazy is like this. Everybody thinks, oh, Pooch, this amazing artist, you know, this, that, and third. I'm not booked up all the time. You know what I'm saying? That whole time when I was with Roman, I lived with him for a year and a half. I didn't tattoo that whole year and a half. Like, I was doing shit for free. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And straight all those interviews, the selling interviews, all those tattoos was free. I would travel the world with Roman and literally sleep outside on the side of a dumpster, bro. He didn't notice. You know what I'm saying? So I would make all these sacrifices off of my art career because he told me when he hired me, yo, bro, give me 8 months and I'm gonna make you bang. I told him, give me 4 months and I'll make myself bang. I have no problem with doing the work.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you want to open up the door, I'm gonna run through that motherfucker. So wherever he went, I went. You know what I'm saying? Like, I traveled the world with him, and it was one convention, I'll never forget this. And he was like, bro, why the fuck is everybody passing you up? And I'm like, bro, it's the shit I was telling you about. And he was just like, no fucking way. I said, watch. So Friday, I wore a hat, I wore a t-shirt, clean as hell. I wore a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Nobody would come to my booth. Roman was heated. Like, people would come up to my booth and look at his booth and look at our portfolio and be like, who did this? Oh, he did. And walk straight by me. I'm not getting nothing tattooed by him.
Damn.
Saturday came. So Saturday came, I wore a polo, some slacks, and I had my hair cut and my glasses, my same whole ritual routine. People were coming up to the booth. Oh my God, your work is dope. This, that, third. I'm looking at Roman like, he was like, bro, I would have never thought in this time period, people still do that. I'm like, yes, they do. They still do it now to me. Like, but I just laugh about it. I'm like, yo, whatever. Like, you don't want to get tattooed by me, I don't want to tattoo you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no big deal.
Right.
Yep.
Wow. Man. Well,
it's sad.
I can't imagine, but also you got to be so proud of you. You know, I always talk about steering the ship, and, you know, because you jumped in and steered the ship in a better direction, young artists, young Black artists have people to look up to. You know, hey, he made it. He made it.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
Maybe I can make it, instead of like, that's just a white man's, you know. Same, you know, with women too. It used to, you know, it's always been a boys' club. Some of the best tattoo artists in the world are female now. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy because I talk to my friends about this, and I'm glad you guys are having this conversation because we need to have this conversation. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and say like it was the worst. It was hard with any tattoo business. Anybody that's coming up trying to be a tattoo artist, it's hard for everybody. Yeah, it was a little bit harder for me as a Black man, but it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew from an early age that if I go into this, I have to present myself in a serious matter and not have a whole bunch of stupid shit around me or stupid shit on my page. You know what I'm saying? So I knew head on that I'm going to get this, but I'm going to change the scenario. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to switch some stuff around. You know, all through the grace of God, I've got friends like yourselves who really supported me and really was like, yo, this dude is coming up. This dude is doing this. This dude is doing this. You should go ahead and follow this. And I think a lot of my artist friends don't realize, like, if you're Asian, whether if you're dark or whatever, you already have an audience. If you're a female, you already have an audience. If you're Chicano, you already have an audience. As a Black man, I'm already hindered because my audience is already dark. So I can't showcase the work I want to showcase. You see what I'm saying? So we already shot in the foot as soon as we get started. You understand what I'm saying? So it's up to us to make other people feel comfortable enough to come to us. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey, you know what? Even though I feel skeptical on going to a Black tattoo artist, he is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is clean. He is approachable. Because if Josh goes to convention and he has a hat on, he smells like beer, everybody look at Josh and be like, oh, that's a tattoo artist. Okay, cool.
Right, yeah.
If I go to the convention and have a hoodie on and a hat on, oh no, he's a killer. I'm leaving.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's sad that I have to be approachable. So I have to wear glasses. I have to wear polo. I have to be clean cut so people can approach me and at least talk to me and then I can change their perspective. If I have 8 black dudes in my booth and I'm playing hip hop music and I got a hat to the back, it's sad to say, but the audience won't come to you.
Yeah. Wow. See, I don't think these are things that every tattoo artist thinks about, and we should be.
Yeah.
Again, this conversation, like I'm glad we're having a little bit of it. We should have more of it. Everybody should.
And even if they do, they don't think about it in the way our brother Pooch is breaking it down.
Exactly. They don't even know.
Yeah.
Number one, like Pooch just brought up all kinds of, things that he knows, hurdles that he's got to break through or overcome or become like water, but where others would place blame. On everyone else, the culture. And the second we start blaming others is the second we give all our power away. My man Pooch is taking 1,000% responsibility. And
you have to.
Oh my God. But,
you
easier said than done for some folks, but you are the proof.
Right. But what's crazy is it's not. If people get off their high horse and realize, like, I'm a black man, I'm a proud black man, and I hate to be labeled as a black tattoo artist. I'm a tattoo artist who so happen to be black. Because if you go to an Asian person or somebody of another different race, I don't see nobody hopping to them and saying, oh, he's a white tattoo artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm a tattoo artist who's a proud black man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't like to have that label. I'm just a dope artist. You see what I'm saying? But I just feel like if people just take some of their whole, like I see it all the time at convention, yo, Pooch, how do you get this? How do you get that? Well, and maybe if you don't have 80 dudes in your booth, and you know what I'm saying? It's a sad thing to say, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? You got to be presentable. Right. You have to be approachable. And if I'm not going to spend $3,000 with you, if it's not approachable, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I can't hold the conversation with you and get to understand who you are as a person, I'm not going to spend that bread with you. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard for me to do that when I'm already scared, straight hopping in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, man.
Wow.
I love that. And your discernment, your ability to discern your audience even before they show up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You are a creative overcomer, man. Just overcoming against all odds. And the things that would make most people fold is almost what made you turn it up. That's so fucking admirable, man. So beautiful.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And it's paid off tenfold, and it shows in every area. Meeting him in the flesh, he's a sweetheart. Seeing his work, he's a fucking badass. Just everything about you. And it's like, we're built for struggle. If you're going to be in this career, and you've said this, like, everybody's got their hardships. And I think a big part of that too is like our perception of it and how we choose the choices we make, which is why I appreciate, like, when I started talking about this and you're like, nah, none of that shit fucking scared me. Like, I went in head first. That's because, like Matt was saying, you were taking full responsibility. This is my choice. How do I want to live it? This is my one life. It ain't my practice life. I'm going to go all in, like, to the point that, like, whatever labels or limitations that you've struggled with has caused you to, like, fucking even step it up and raise the bar even more. Like, going to fucking nursing school, I didn't even fucking think of that.
Right.
But here you're in a position where, like, no one's showing me shit, so I gotta fucking show my own shit. So I gotta go in here and pretend to be a nurse, and then go to cosmetology school to learn how to do
facials and all that shit.
Man, dude, that's like a whole different level of dedication.
Right. And then also, he's, Pooch is fully aware that social media is so important. You can look at his Instagram page, man. It's so thought out, so meticulous.
That's right.
It looks like an advertisement company took over. And his photography, his lighting, I want to buy whatever he's selling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And it's like, so he's covering all these grounds. Like, we barely even touched surface on, who Pooch is. And it's like, I don't know. It's overwhelming, to be honest with you.
And that's why I'm honored to do this podcast, because I feel like everybody knows the art side of me, but I never got nobody a chance to get to know me.
Right.
And this platform here is going to allow people to be like, yo, I know who he is. Because nowadays on Instagram, you can't just sit up here and tattoo anymore. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to know who the artist behind the artwork is. You know what I'm saying? And I really haven't done that. So doing this podcast for me is very special. Very, very special.
Awesome.
Come on. and we're just scratching the surface. We're maybe 20 minutes in, but I already know right now, under the sound of your voice, Pooch, there are tattoo artists all over the globe that is already mad inspired by just the little you've shared from your heart already.
You can feel it. The energy is
There's motherfuckers that have been running stories, rackets,
Right.
got excuses, discouraged. Well, you don't understand what I'm facing in my circumstances, and you just fucking blew
Like,
all of it out of the water.
I like to
See,
picture that
honestly-
somebody's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'd like to picture a couple of just grumbly, victim tattoo artists that are grumbling that slow, and Pooch is just like, oh, that's too bad. I'm just drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly speaking, let's take a moment real quick, Josh, and give you your credit where credit is due. It's because of you, I am who I am.
Oh, thank
You
you
know
so
what I'm
much.
saying? I think a lot of artists don't give credit to where credit is due. Like these understudy programs I do is not for me. These these programs I do is for me to enlighten myself so I can help others on becoming better, because honestly, Josh, your DVDs saved my life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thanks,
I
man.
eat, sleep, drink, tattooing. You know what I'm saying? And I think like a lot of people don't give you credit for that. You have been sick, and I still see you tattooing. I still see you progressing. I still see you on this podcast and doing shit like this. And this is what fuels me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to build a brand so I can have a name. Now I'm sitting up here and I'm building a legacy. Because I want, when it's time for me to go, I want people to be like, Pooch, oh my God, he inspired my life. He changed me.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be, oh, his artwork was dope. I want it to be,
right.
He was a great
That's
guy.
not enough.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got that motor, man. You got that hunger. That's why, I was so drawn to you when I met you. I was just like, what is this guy doing? And I was just like, I see you. I fucking see you, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I do got to ask.
Yeah.
If I'm prying too much, I'm still giddy about tattoos, and I love you, man. So I want to ask a couple of questions about.
No, ask anything y'all want, and don't be shy. Be brutally honest. Be blunt. Let's go. I'm with it.
So this is gonna sound like one of those questions of like, oh, of course their friends can say this. If you don't know Pooch's colored pencil work, you better fucking call somebody. And I'm curious. I'm real curious. Did that happen before tattooing? Because when you taught a seminar at Evergreen, I'll be honest with you, I was pissed. I was like, fuck this guy coming in, like, how are you even doing this? This isn't even fucking human,
Man.
And it's like, what's that story? Was that just like...
Okay, so when I work, so here it goes. So Hip and Josh are going to sit up here and love this. So I do everything for a reason. I don't never do anything or just to get kudos or just to get credit. And Josh, you're going to smile right now. So I work with Roman, right?
Right.
So look at Roman's work, his work. His saturation is on point. His use of his mag, his color blends are on point. I learned as much as I can from Roman, right? I went to Steve Butcher because his depth of field.
Right.
So now I'm speaking artist terms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't hop on a bandwagon with people all just to be like, hey, all this, that, and the third. I studied all your DVDs because your whole transition and how loose your palette is and how you keep it. So I look at an artist on what they're good at and what I have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with Steve was I was really close with Steve. And I was like, listen, I'm falling in a place where I'm stuck. I don't want to be stuck, bro. Is there any way you can apprentice me? And he was just like, Pooh, shut the fuck up. I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, I need your help. So he took me under his wing for a year and I did not tattoo. I refused to tattoo. I didn't tattoo for that whole year.
Wow.
So I would go and set him up. I would sit up here and watch him work. Wherever he traveled, I would go with him. I would do everything I can. Everything he taught me, I applied in my color pencil work. So I would sit down and try, because I was painting a lot, but painting is a whole different medium. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
If you got oil use as a dry brush, you could blend that whole texture out. If you're doing charcoal, there's your finger, there's a blending spot. Color pencils, you really have to go through every color and learn how to hold the pencil, how to keep it sharp, how to keep it dull, how to put things out of perspective. So with me, it was just a challenge because I couldn't tattoo. So I would set my whole papers up as if I was tattooing and do a full color study, the same as if I'm tattooing for 13 hours straight. So that whole year of me
Yes.
understanding how to do undertones, how to do layers on all different papers, how to blend these colors and this, that, and third. Steve came to the room one day and I was doing the Stan Lee. Steve goes, yo, bro, stop what you're doing. I'm coming over. I'm like, what the hell? Came to my private studio and he was like, okay, draw. So I started drawing and he was just like, all right, bro, I see that. I love you. Bye. And left. I was like, yo, bro, what the fuck? He was like, if I didn't see you start that shirt and draw that shirt, I wouldn't have believed how you did it.
Yeah. I say,
He was
I
like,
see
your
that,
color.
yeah.
And he said this one thing that stuck with me all to this day. I don't understand how your pencil work is one way and your tattooing is another.
Yeah.
That shit fucking ringed in my head. I was like, fuck you mean, Steve? I'm dope and tattooed up. But then I had to sit back and really analyze the shit that he was saying. Like, I was tattooing a different style and I was drawing a different style. Stop doing that shit. So now I will color study every drawing before I do it. And then I'll tattoo it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a
It definitely
It's just me.
shows, because I've noticed in the last probably 2 years or so, like your newer work, it does look much closer to your colored pencil work now. Your saturation is ridiculous. It's like you're obsessed
Thank
with
you,
it.
bro.
You know,
Yes.
I can tell you fight it. You just like, you're like, I consider myself the same way. Like, I'm this nice guy, and everyone's like, Josh is so laid back and nice, but like in my mind, I'm a fucking assassin because I just want to get in there, think like a fucking serial killer. Put that shit towards good, but it takes that kind of mentality, right? You are already amazing, and then you decided to fucking re-apprentice. You're already world-class, famous, amazing tattoo artist that 99.9% of other tattoo artists would be like, pfft, you know what I mean? And you were smart enough.
Yeah.
No, I want to be here. Guess what? I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes to get there.
Come on.
Come on. Right?
Yes.
And to clarify with our listeners, timeline, you re-apprenticed with Steve Butcher, what, just 3 years ago, 4 years ago? It's recent, right?
Yeah, it's recent.
I want to say it was the year before COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it was the year before COVID.
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, like Josh just said, he'd already made a name for himself, was already killing the game. My man's been in the game 20 years, a 20-year veteran, and then decides to apprentice again, right? There's something powerful about, no matter what level we're at, to keep a beginnership mindset. Still knowing that, come on, that I don't know what I don't know, but the humility and the hunger of this man. Do you know how many dudes that are 5 years in and wouldn't even think to apprentice again under someone else?
Well, and what's funny
Pooch
too
is 20 years in the game. Yeah.
When we were at the educational and Pooch was about to teach, he's so stoic and serious about it. People are like, "What do you mean you're apprenticing again?" And they're so blown away. And Pooch is like,
"Yeah,
maybe you should consider it too." You know what I mean? It's like, to him, it's not a question. You do what the fuck you have to do. He's not done. He's not even close to done.
Yeah.
He wants that. He wants that
I'm
legacy.
nowhere.
Yeah.
I want that legacy. Like right now, starting December 1st, I'm going to be doing every month. I'm going to travel with each artist I respect. And I'm going to sit with them for a weekend and I'm going to do an understudy straight underneath them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's still some stuff I need to learn that I feel like I'm hindered. Like a lot of my artist friends be like, yo, Pooch, I stopped looking at Instagram. You a fool. I look at Instagram every day and go through artists' shit and screenshot it and study it. Like, okay, he did this. He did that. He did this. He did that. Okay, then you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and try to change this up and boom, boom, boom. Like I'm all about this leveling up shit. Like I'm with it.
Man,
come on, boy.
When you start that, you should hire a documentary crew. You'll set the tattoo world on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's crazy is Steve said the same shit. He's like, bro, you need to get a camera because like he even gets shocked. And that's like, there's a few people in the industry. There's Josh, there's Stefano, Steve Butcher, and Roman. All four of you guys are like my superheroes. You know what I'm saying? There's so many more other amazing artists out in the industry, but as a person, as an artist, as an overall, I have my top four. You see what I'm saying? And Steve said this shit all the time, like, yo, bro, stop. Like, chill. Like, bro, like, you drawing every day. You constantly, for what? And I'm like, why not, bro? Like, this is all I have. I don't have a plan B. All I have is plan A. You see what I'm saying? So for me, like, this is it for me. Like, so if something, it was crazy. My I don't know if you know, Josh, my pops passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2 months ago. It was one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still went to a show the day he passed. Still went to a show. Still hopped on a plane. Still went to a show. My pops passing was like a good thing. It was a blessing. Because my pops passed and I realized he impacted so many people's lives. He worked his ass off. And in a matter of days, everybody forgot about him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I've been doing this for 20 something years. I sacrificed so much. I ate out of trash cans. I slept outside of the street. I've been to different countries and slept on the side of the dumpster. I sacrificed so much on doing this shit. I have to build a legacy now. Like, I don't want my artwork to be appreciated after I go.
Right.
I want that shit to be appreciated now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So for me now, I'm building something that's, it's gonna be crazy. I want my name to ring bells when I walk into a room.
And it will.
You know, and the
It
only
will.
way I'm gonna get that, is if I apply into my artwork and give it 130% now. You know what I'm saying? It can't be 110 no more. I want to do 130.
You know, years ago, they said it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile until somebody did it. And then they just kept doing it. You know, guy did a double backflip on his motorcycle at the X Games. It was impossible until somebody does it. You know what I mean? Fuck moles. Fuck glass ceilings. Fuck any of that shit. You know?
No, I'm just sticking to what I'm doing and mastering or what I'm doing. There's so many different styles out there, and I see so many people adding, like, having the cartoon stuff with this and this, that, and the third. And that's dope. I'm not going to discredit. That's dope. But I'm a master of straight. I got to sit up here and master this one thing first, and then I'll move on to the next.
Yeah.
I don't want to hop on different things and not hone my skills on the basics. It's like on simple stuff. Like, you know, it's stuff that we forget. Everybody just asks us, oh, what machine you use? Oh, you use that machine? I'm going to go and buy it. Okay, do you know stroke?
100%.
Hand motion, do you understand this? Do you understand that? Do you understand this? And people be like, I'm like, dude, you got to understand certain things,
your work is good, so this is going to make my work good. It's like, you almost want to be like, fuck you, man. Try sleeping by a garbage can, motherfucker. You know?
Exactly. But crazy. I get it all the time. Like, I get owners, like, it's friends who who I've known for years. They be like, yo, Pooch, this tattoo artist been tattooing for 2 years. He's gonna be fucking great. He's gonna kill it. And I'm looking and I'm like, he better be great. I mean, you got stencil machines that print out exactly the fucking image. All you gotta do is paint. Yeah, he better be fucking great. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really, really have to, like, I like to adapt to new things, but I'm also a creature of habit. You know, I'm old school. Like, I still hand stencil. I don't use that machine shit. Right. Like, I still hand stencil certain things. You know, like, Matt. So that. I'm still old school with certain things, man. Like, I'm just like, to me, it works. You know what I'm saying? I like to hand stencil my stuff and really know exactly all what I'm getting into. You know?
Yeah.
So what are you feeling like? Like, what's a dream client? I'm assuming you get a lot of those. I see a lot of your work is very large, color mostly. Like, so if you just had a dream client, do you have some stuff that you just really want to do? Do you just have a style? I mean, I look to you as realism just because that's what I'm so drawn to. But it's not strictly that. You know, you're really good with light sources, and I like some of your decisions. I've watched you work. And I've seen an area in the reference that's weird. And I'll go do my thing and I'll walk around. I'm like, oh, you figured it out. Like a math problem. You know what I mean? You didn't just copy it. You know, you're like, well, first of all, this is a tattoo. It's not fucking paper. You're going to be seeing it underneath the skin. I'm going to put more black in it. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, oh, there it is. And that's something that I think almost nobody's doing. Because it's like, this is going to sound bad, but tattoo artists tend to think like tattoo artists. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But you're thinking on another plane. You know what I mean? And everybody cannot do that. I used to have this terrible idea that everybody's the same. And that if I'm just working harder, right? Like, oh, my wife's brother, he could do this. And then I met my wife's brother. and it's like he can't. You know what I mean? Like some people are not meant to do certain things that are of anything greatness. It's not a bad thing at all. The world needs journeyman tattoo artists. The world needs people to work at grocery stores and whatever. You know what I mean? But I know how you are, and we hunt for excellence. You know?
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm just sounding like I'm babbling, but
No.
I'm just so
Yeah, it makes
drawn
perfect
to
sense.
it. I'm just so drawn to it, which is why even through sickness, I try my hardest to be here because Hip and Matt we share this motor, man. We're cut from the same cloth,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
even though we are at a point in our lives where we're like, yeah, I feel good. You come on here and you fucking relight that shit. We reap the benefits. So joke's on you. Really, we're the ones getting shit from this.
Well, it's just the therapeutic value of one fucking tattoo artist helping another tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And like, I'm still stuck at the fact that like he was homeless, eating out of trash cans, sleeping on the street from tattooing. Like I thought,
Yeah.
and this may sound weird, but I thought it was like bragging rights for me to be like, yeah, I did that shit because I was on heroin. And you're like, nah, I did that because I was trying to become a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like see, what's crazy? My pops, he worked at the IRS. My mom's was also a nurse. Like, I come from a good full background. I have a college degree. I've been to high school. Like, I really didn't have to do it. I did it because it's what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to humble yourself to understand. Like,
Hell yeah,
Come on.
tattooing
boy.
is. It's never in this business. It's always ups and downs. Always ups and downs. So me, I felt like if I fall flat on my ass and I can still come up, it's not gonna be all be that hard. I worked with Roman, and people thought, yo, like this dude got the meal ticket. Like he got it. He's with Roman. Like no. There was 9 other artists in that shop. Like everybody forget that. And I tell these people, everybody like, there was 9 other artists. Yes, there was 9 other artists that was dope. Me, I was just like, okay, he's going to London. Okay, how much is the flight? I'm gonna sell my sneakers. I'm gonna sell this, and I'm gonna go. And I would lie to Ro. He'd be like, yo, you got a room? Yeah, I got a room. I would literally, bro, hang out with everybody in the lobby. 2:00 in the morning, everybody would go upstairs. I would sneak behind the hotel. I would sleep on the side of the dumpster. I would get up before everybody. I would sneak into their bathroom, clean myself off. Have Roman to come downstairs. He'll eat or whatever. He asked me if I was hungry. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. Hand me your bread. I would snack on his bread or his bacon or whatever, or have some free water. Stop by the show. I would sit there all day, present myself. I would not have no tattoo. I didn't know how the fuck I was getting home. You know what I'm saying? But those are the sacrifices. It didn't matter. Right. Those are the sacrifices I made so I can get better. So I can be like, yo, I went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't do it to be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm with him. I'm going to have a story to tell later. No, I did those things because I got a chance to meet amazing fucking artists and sit down with them and really study their shit. So when I get back home, I can apply that. You know what I'm saying? All those choices what I made, and me eating out of the trash can and out of dumpsters was literally 8 years ago. You see what I'm saying? It's still recent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just don't think most people realize like the conversations you had in another country, you would have never had that opportunity. You took it. That's priceless.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you have to make sacrifices. Like, I didn't see my daughter when she was born for the first year. As soon as she was born, I moved to California. You know what I'm saying? Like, but those are sacrifices I made, and look at me now. You know what I'm saying? I don't regret any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happened. I made it into a positive, and look at me now, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you have to go through the ringer. So when everybody sit back and be like, applauding me and being like, I'm like, yo, dude, you don't understand the struggle I went through. Man. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand the shit I've go through. So when people start playing around with tattooing and, you know what I'm saying, having to downplay me as an artist, I take it personally.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I've always hated it when people say, man, if I had half your talent. And I'm like, what? What about half my hard work? Like, what the fuck, man, I don't know. That's always bothered me. It wasn't given to me. It wasn't given to you.
It still bothers me because everybody be like, honestly, guys, I'll tell you on my schedule. I wake up in the morning at 8:00. I spend time with my daughter from 8 to 10. Straight after that, now I'm in the studio. Straight before I tattoo, and I'm doing 2 hours of studying before I even start tattooing. Either I go online and I look up other things, or I do whatever I need to do. And then after that, I'll start tattooing from 12 until whatever. After every tattoo, I have to do 3 hours of drawing time. That's mandatory. Mandatory.
Wow.
And this is every day. Every day. I have the weekends off. So my Saturdays and Sundays is me starting a piece and finishing it. 12 hours. I'm not getting up. I treat it as if I'm tattooing. That shit is discipline, bro. That's not something that, so when people be like, oh my God, you're dope. How did you get that dope? Is it because of this needle? No, motherfucker, it's sacrificing and hard work. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
Hell no, you know?
Please sell me this one package that will give me everything. There you go, Pooch. You just need to make a box all fancy like your products. And it's like, here's all the answers, right? Oh, no. Here's what you need to do. You need to make a big, thick book that's called Everything You Need to Know to Tattoo, right? And they buy it. It's like $100. And they open it up and every page is blank.
Yes.
When they call you and they're like, what the fuck, man? You'll be like, you're not ready, but you'll get it someday.
Yeah, like I just it's everything. It's the artwork, it's the drive, my spirituality. That's my biggest thing right now is I canceled all my appointments this year because I just don't want, I'm tired of having that negative energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me now, you have to impress me with your energy in order to get tattooed. Like I'm treating myself like a Louis Vuitton bag. Like I'm treating myself like everybody needs to have it and you can't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're sitting with somebody for 12 hours and their energy is not good. It sucks, bro. It's draining. Like it's draining.
So good. You're so right, brother. Oh.
Well, it's like I said in the last podcast, not everybody deserves to tattoo. Well, shit, not everybody deserves a tattoo from you.
Exactly.
Hopefully
that's why next year I'm doing evergreen, of course. I'm never going to stop doing that. But I'm definitely handpicking what shows I'm doing because that energy in shows, if it's not good, it's draining, bro. Like it's toxic.
Yeah.
So like I'm really handpicking my shows next year. Like
you
handpicking
have to
everything,
be because I'm hearing it all the time. These shows are jumping on just to profit. You know, they're just they want to show in every city and anybody can get in. And you know, all my artists in Evergreen might not be amazing, but I see something in them that I think they could be amazing, right? So they're good enough to do a good, clean tattoo. I'm not going to fuck anybody up, but I see that motor and I just keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? Because I want to have that. I've got the best in the world. You know what I mean? And I've got who someday maybe will be the best someday. I think that's
exactly. You never know.
You don't ever know, man.
And you never know. So you got to treat everybody with the utmost respect and treat everybody with, you know, everybody come up to me and be like, hey, Pooch, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? It takes 5 minutes just to look up and go, hey, man, how you doing?
Right.
That shit can brighten up somebody's day
especially
and life and change.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's real difficult as where you're at in your career to even see what we see. You know what I mean? So if you looking up to them and saying hi, they're going to talk about that for a long. They'll be on a podcast someday, and they're like, "That's when the sparks happened because I met him. I went back and listened to the podcast. That motherfucker worked hard. I fucking switched my life up." You don't know. That shit happens.
Man.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes, and honestly, I love that. I fucking love it, bro. I love that energy. I love that vibe. Like, I love people be like, hey, Pooch, you changed my life or you inspired me. I'm like, what?
I know.
That's fucking, let's go. Hell yeah.
And that's a tattoo. That's a tattoo guardian. When we get, what is a tattoo guardian? That's the definition to me of a tattoo guardian.
Yes, brother. Yes. So good, man. So good.
It is. It's very soothing and calming, and to hear you just talk about things, because you know, like at Aisle 9, we we always tell our artists, like, they are coming in, the client is coming in to interview you, but ultimately you're interviewing them. And it's important because, like, just like a client doesn't want to sit with a douchebag for 12 hours a day, we don't want to sit with one either, because it fucks up the whole rhythm and the flow of how the tattoo's going and taking price or taking pride in enjoying your work. And Josh just said, like, just the fact that, like, you acknowledge someone because you're aware that you have an impact, and not only that you have one, but like it's the position you're in. You could be a fucking douchebag, but I am appreciating seeing more people that I look up to having some humility to them and some kindness. I can vividly tell you the first time that I actually walked up and approached you and was kind of talking to you was at Evergreen, and you had an end row booth. You were setting up, and I had helped you set up that backdrop, and was asking you questions like how you keep your ink from exploding, and you showed me the case, and you were letting me know that, like, you know, world famous, you can let them carry the ink for you, and they got like a better way of bringing it in. And even though I was intimidated and still am intimidated, but that's my shit. But
you don't
it's
have
the
to
fact. And you know, and I know that, and it's just me putting people on pedestals, but ultimately, like, the kindness that you shared, I appreciate that, because, you know, we always say, like, never meet your heroes, but it's like, man, there's been a lot of times where I've met my heroes and they're fucking just as cool as I was hoping they would be.
Right.
You know, the first time I met Josh, he poured me fucking Coke, like, and changed my fucking trash. Like, that motherfucker. I thought he was taller. I thought he was like 18 foot tall, but you know.
What's crazy is hip. You got to understand this. I put my sneakers on the same way you do. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm art driven and I'm hungry and it shows in my work, don't give me the right to downplay who you are as a person. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yes. I'm going to give you the same respect that you're going to give me. And if you're genuine, though, that it goes a long fucking way. So I tell everybody, don't ever be nervous or put me on a pedestal too high, because I'm still on the same shelf with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just so happened on my shelf, I'm polished. You see what I'm saying? like, but I'm on the same shelf as you, bro. Like, so anywhere I'm at, any question you may have or anything you ever want to know, hit me up, bro. Like, I'm an open book, bro. Like, if you go on Google and type in my phone number, it's up. Like, like, I'm not that whole, you got to go through my assistant in order to talk to me. Like, bro,
you got to find a tree in the forest. There'll be a phone number with a code on it.
Yeah, well, you can find me anywhere.
And I love that you're bringing this up, Pooch. And for all our listeners, I think it's important to make a distinction here, because, you know, we're all growing. This man's got the work ethic. He's got like Kobe Bryant work ethic. Yeah. You know, really.
Yeah.
But the distinction I'd like to make here is, and we can see not only his work ethic and his hunger, but also his humility, not just back then, but even right the fuck now. A few years ago, apprenticed again and didn't even tattoo. At that rate, most people be like, I want to apprentice, but I want to apply it tomorrow, you know, and an apprentice while, you know, the humility is there, right? So but he's grown, and like he even said, spiritually, because when you grow and expand in every area, everything grows, including your awareness. And on an energetic level, he can discern his audience. He's more sensitive, therefore selective about who he's going to invest his energy in, who he's going to allow into his space, because he knows how much it matters. But the distinction is not because he's better than you, not because he's arrogant now. No, it's a greater awareness, and it's a greater form of honoring himself in the gifts that's been entrusted to him. There's a difference between honoring yourself in your walk, and it's a greater form of self-love. For me to be the best me, I now have to honor me by being selective of the energy I surround myself by. Don't mean I'm any better than you. And that's an important distinction.
Yes, and people get that confused with bouginess, or be like, oh, he's arrogant now. It has nothing about me being arrogant. Like, you can call me on the phone, you see me in the convention, I'm the nicest guy in the world. I'm just being selective on who I'm around. I'm being selective on the places I go. I'm being selective on the places that I stay at. Because when you create a brand and when you create a name, it's easy for somebody to come in and fuck that up.
Yes.
It's so hard to build up something, but so easy to fall in seconds. If you have the wrong apple. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I've just been like, you know, I've been doing this for so long. I've been around some of the most amazing fucking artists in the industry. But now I want to be selective on who I give my energy to. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Not at all. So, you know, it's the irony. I was just sharing with my students just last week, and I was telling them, do not fuck around when it comes to the energy you allow into your life. And I instructed them all to make 2 lists. To make a list of who gives you energy and then who drains your energy. And if you really get clear on the places, the people, who's life-giving to you and gives you energy and who just sucks it from you, to literally get clear on those lists. So then moving forward, you can create your best life by honoring the truth of your own fucking list. And that's why he's being selective about what shows he's doing now, who he's allowing in, who he's going to pour into, who he's going to receive from, who he's going to listen to, all of that, man.
And what people need to understand though too is that when you making that list and you cleaning out your closet, that's what I call it. You know, when you clean out your closet, you're going to get a lot of people that's not going to like what you're doing, who's going to have something to say or play the victim or do this or do that. I don't even look back, bro. Like if you were my friend at one point and don't understand the fact that I'm moving this way,
yes,
it's nothing towards you. I just want more out of life. You know what I'm saying? So instead of everybody being like, well, you know what? It was a good run. He's on a different path. He's doing his own thing. I wish him all the best. Look, everybody takes it as, oh, he think he's too good. Oh, this, that, and the third. That had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just moving to a different plateau. When I left the shop out of Romans, there was not one bad thing we said about each other. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, he was like, yo, Pooch, I knew eventually you were going to go. All because of you wear polos, you like slacks, you like order, you like structure. And here we didn't have that. And we parted ways and it was on a good way.
Yeah.
There's been a few people that came into my life who picked up and benefited from it and now not here no more. And, you know, talking shit. I just laugh about it, bro. Like, I'm just like, yo, I'm not putting my energy into that.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I'm going to move forward. It's not. Yeah. It's not.
And you're so right. Some people will only be down with an expired version of you. Man. And they don't understand what you're trying to do and where you're going because they ain't never been there. Why so many folks are trying to take directions from people that ain't never been where you're trying to go is mind-blowing.
And, you know, it's none of my business what other people think about me ultimately. And you took the words right out of my mouth, man. And recovery was something that had taught me that. I remember I was getting high and I'd have like some friends show up to try to like pull me out the fucking chaos. And when I wouldn't go with them, they would like distance themselves, love me from a distance, right? And I thought that they were bougie and better than. Now being on this side of the fence, I understand they were just protecting themselves and they had to see who was taking energy, who was giving energy, and they loved me from a distance. And because I have the same thing, I got friends that are still out in the chaos. They're getting high and they think I'm better than. And it's not the case. I just have to look out for me first and foremost. It's just like, you know, when you're on a plane, you got to put your mask on before you can assist your children. Like I have to keep myself first and give myself love in order to reciprocate that out to the community around me and the people around me.
Exactly. You have to do that. Like I'm big, like I'm a giver. I'm a big empath. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I like to see my people around me succeed. I've always been that way. I put myself second. You know what I'm saying? But now I put myself first and surround myself around people who's going to also contribute and not just only take anymore.
There it is.
You know, so it's just a never ending cycle like this podcast right now. And what's crazy, I keep saying this shit because it really means that much to me. You're like, hold on, before we should have subject, where are you at, bro? You have the dopest background ever, bro. Yo, his feng shui of that background is fire. Like I've been watching the podcast like, yo, where does he get like everything is all white, brown trim, the green in the background with the blue compliments. I'm like,
oh, thank you. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to steal some of that shit from my shop.
Man, come on, boy. So good.
Hey, but like I was saying, yeah, I mean, energies is big, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just having to surround yourself around great fucking people, it means a lot. And and what's crazy when you have that positive energy and you have that good spirit and you have that good whole mindset, you'll be surprised how many more people pop up into your life.
Come on,
like that has the same thing.
Yeah, it surprised me. You know, Matt really, I'm a giver as well. I've been that way my whole life, but Matt really changed my life to where it's like kind of is my life now, right? It's defining me. And I was so surprised at how many other people out there were similar. I felt like, I always felt like a little isolated. You know, I'm the tattoo artist that doesn't really fit in because everybody's so into their whatever. But man, they came out of the woodwork, supported me so good with my cancer journey. whether it's money, work, whatever. You know, I remember talking to you. I needed your help with the educational. You were there in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Something happened. This is a funny story. Something happened at one of the Evergreens where Pooch didn't have his license or didn't get it, or something happened, right? And I'll never forget how serious, because he's such a nice guy and a funny guy. And he looked, they were running down to the wire like it wasn't going to happen. And Pooch looked at the health department woman and he's like, oh, I'm tattooing. And it was just no ifs, ands, or buts. If I'm tattooing out in the fucking rain, I'm tattooing. I told Josh I'd be here. I'm fucking here. And I'll never forget that, man. You probably don't even remember it.
What's crazy was is too, her name is Michelle. I think it was Michelle. And she came to the booth and she was so nice.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, Pooch. Now, I could have been an asshole, like a few artists that was in there and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, do you know who I am?
She looked at me and I looked at her. So she looked at me and I looked at her and I was just like, hey, sweetheart, look, I'm going to tattoo.
Yep.
Like, I flew all the way out here for Josh. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely tattooing. I come here every year. I constantly do that. I'll pay whatever. I'll do whatever I got to do. Yeah. And I guess her manager came up and he was like, he's good. He comes here every year. Like,
that's right.
I know he wouldn't have flown all the way out here.
Right, exactly.
If he didn't do the paperwork. So, you know what, Pooch, you're good. And I was just like, wow. You know, and that's that good energy. That's that, you know, hey, look, I'm tattooing regardless of whatever you say.
Right.
But, you know, I did my paperwork. Like, I submitted everything in and it was just that good energy rapport. And he was just like, you know, okay, yeah, you know what? He's good. He comes every year. He wouldn't have flown all the way out to Oregon. Knowing how strict Oregon is.
Yeah, I remember
he wouldn't have flown all the way out here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was cool and they gave me a slack. And they were like, all right, Pooch, that a tattoo. And I was just like, hell yeah, okay.
Yep. And that's like, the thing. The way you approached it changed so many. That could have been you. I know you. You would have just tattooed in my shop, but you started out good with the rapport, so they worked both ways. You know what I mean? So that just shows your listeners out there, like, you don't have to be just to be a tattoo artist. You don't have to be a dick. You know, like
right.
You know.
Yeah, you know, it's the art of tattooing that's brought us together. It's topic of discussion tonight's who we are. Right? But there's a whole nother art form that's actually my favorite, and you are already flowing in it so well, masterfully, Pooch, which is the art form of building relationships.
Absolutely. That's my shit. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it,
man. Come on.
I love it.
And
I love it.
Two things I always tell my students. One is we attract who we are being. Right? And man, you just the proof of it all around. It doesn't matter what comes at us. Who are we going to be in the midst of the storm? We attract who we are being. Back when, you know, because we were talking about friends that are only down with an expired version of us and they fall off, not because we're better or anything like that. We grew and went different directions on our course in this life. But if we're really your brother, if we're really your friend, then naturally we want to see you win. We want to see you shine. If I'm really your friend, then I should be over here celebrating all your wins and your growth, right? And that's why when some friends drop off, then as we grow and our way of being expands, like Josh was mentioning, we enter into a whole new realm of all these other folks that done been there. And I just grew into it, and our minds are blown, and we're encouraged. Like, my God, where all you people been my whole life?
Right.
But they were at a level that I couldn't experience until I got to that level.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't see a fourth dimension when you're told there's only three, right? You have to experience this other level.
Yes. You know, another thing I tell my students all the time too, Pooch, is you are where your attention is.
Yep.
Right. And no matter what odds have come against you, even in the stories you shared tonight, that wasn't the end of the story. You didn't put a big period on it. Even when other people tried to project to you, this is what it is. You didn't just put your attention on what they said was the perimeters, what they said you could be. You kept your attention on what your inner guide was showing you that others even couldn't see. And this is how
you have to keep that going
through. Oh my God. Yes. I commend you because you are the truth and the proof of all of it. And again, just I think has annihilated so many of these other artists listening right now that's realized like, man, I've been a bitch.
I've been slacking. Bro. It's crazy. You got to keep it going, man. you got to keep pushing. You got to keep grinding. You got to find a purpose. Like, you have to figure out on all the stuff you're doing, who life is impacting. You know, like, all that to me matters. Like, all that shit matters.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
You know,
So
and I don't know if we were recording or not and it picked this up, but I heard you say, like, you was helping your mom out. I'm a mama's boy. And it sounds like your parents are fucking dope people. So I heard that, and I just wanted to, like, acknowledge that I heard you say that, and I appreciate it, because as a little boy, even though I was a fucking hellion, I always told my mom that, like, I would get her own house and, like, buy her a Lamborghini. Haven't done it yet, Mom. I promise I will. But I heard you say that, and I was like, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's all.
But let's shine some light on the situation. Like, I had who runs my company and who's my manager, and my best friend, it's Excel. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like my biggest inspiration in my shop to me. And my pops passed on a Wednesday. I found out 3:00 in the morning. My flight was leaving at 6:45. I literally bawled my eyes out. She was like, I'm canceling the flight. I'm like, nope, I can't cancel the show. She goes, why? Here's the thing people don't understand. Us as tattoo artists, we don't have a savings plan, and we don't have a retirement fund and certain little things. So the only way we're making money is if we're working. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have stayed back, my mom still has bills. She still has to handle for the funeral. She still has to do whatever. So me as a tattoo artist and as a man who helps my mother out, I didn't have time to grieve. I had to have 3 hours of crying time, hop on a plane and get to it. Because at the end of the day, after the show, I had to go to my mother and pay for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
All his funeral arrangements and all that other stuff. So people don't understand how much we really sacrifice, how much we have to sit up here and chuck up in order to keep going. And I was at the convention, and I literally, like, tattooing. I stay at my client, have a minute, I cry, you know, so I go to the back of a minute, have my face clean, hop back to it, start tattooing. And my Saturday client Pops passed 8 months before he even got tattooed. So it was like he felt my pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, he felt the struggle. So people need to understand on what we do, like how much shit we have going on in our lives. And then we still got to do a portrait of a loved one that just died. I just lost my pops, and I had to do a portrait that day of somebody. You see what I'm saying? And I had to just sit up here and chuck it up, keep it moving, all because of I have to help my moms with these bills. I have to pay this. I have to pay that. So I just wish, if anybody going to get anything from this interview, I want people to stop asking for a deal, stop asking for a price, or stop doing this. Understand the shit that we go through every day. Like, I don't get a chance to see my daughter every day. Like, I'm constantly at work. I gotta have my piece studied before I do it. I have to stencil it. I have to plan it out. There's a lot of shit that goes into us tattooing, you know what I'm saying, or traveling the world, period. You know what I'm saying? So before you judge anybody, understand the shit that we go through. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And then he's going to run sprints for 3 hours after the game. You know what I'm saying? Damn. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'd like to shine a little bit more light on the exact story and moment in time you're talking about. The show he went to, Josh, and Hip, was Hunts Vegas in Huntsville, Alabama. Shout out to our brother Rock. Throws that show. Yeah. It was a fucking great show, right? And I had the honor of being there as well. Now, guys, since I was there and I saw, and to all you listeners, you would not know for a second that Pooch, what he was going through at the show, for he still chose, he was the light. Like, you know, we can look at other booths and pick up everyone can pick up energy, even if you're not sensitive to it on a subconscious level. You do, whether you realize it or not. And why do you feel like you're drawn some booths you're not? Some you just energetically know, you just pass on by, and others you, like Pooch's, you are drawn to. Yeah. He said earlier, there's so much more to it. Yes, I'm all about the aesthetic and the setup, but it's the energy with inside the heart of the man that houses that booth, right? And even in his darkest hour, in this pain, he's still serving the world with his whole heart, with a broken heart, right? And he was like the light in the place. So fast forward, and this either happened on Saturday or Sunday. Pooch, one of my students, shout out to S.J. Warner. She had shown up to the show, and she had she had brought her tattoo machine, and she came to help run the TBM booth, but she brought her one and only machine in case an opportunity arose that maybe she would get to tattoo. That didn't happen. While she was at the show, there was another artist, shout out to Chad Pope, and his sweetheart, his wife, who had just become an apprentice. For whatever reason, guys, and SJ, at the time, really didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, right? Yeah. And she had her one and only machine, and for whatever reason, it was put on her heart. She felt led to give her machine away to this other sister. But guys, it's not like she had a plethora of machines back home. Not even a backup. It was her one and only machine. She's like, Mom, this was her only way. But from, her learning to trust the process in the universe and trust her intuition. She didn't know why, but she felt led that she was supposed to give her machine away, and she obeyed and let go. Now, you're a giver, Pooch. You said, we know that givers get. We don't give to get. It just comes with the territory. But in that moment when she gave, she wasn't giving to get anything back. She was just giving to obey the unction and how she was led to, knowing that was her gift and reward, that she got chosen to be a vessel without knowing the how or what happens next. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you know that it wasn't maybe 15 minutes later, somehow, some way, it was placed upon Pooch's heart to give one of his machines away to SJ. Wow. Now, when he obeyed, and he didn't know the backstory that she just gave her one and only machine away in that moment.
I didn't know.
And this was like God, source, the universe, using Pooch as the vessel in this moment. One of my favorite scriptures is God's eyes are constantly looking to and fro the earth, just looking for a willing vessel to drop all of his glory and all of his magic in. It doesn't say you got to have your shit together. You ain't got to be perfect. None of that. Just willing. Like, I'll fucking do it, right? And I believe that God, source, the universe, placed it upon Pooch's heart because he knew he's willing. He knew he would say, yes, sir. Okay. Not knowing, just like she didn't know. And it was all, like it always is, part of a bigger plan.
What's crazy is about that. What's crazy is about that. I bought the machine because I didn't pack my machine. So I was with Rock, and I bought the machine that Friday. So when I bought the machine, I was tattooing, and then I had the news my nephew got murdered on that Saturday. He couldn't take what my dad was going through, and he mouthed off to somebody, and then he got killed that Saturday. So I had my dad died on a Wednesday, my nephew got killed on Saturday. I found this out in the convention, already grieving over my dad.
Jesus.
And I took a moment, and I was just gonna crumble, and Rock came up and was like, bro, I got you. Like, I was breaking. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have my frustrations out on this tattoo. I'm going to just pour my heart and soul into this fucking piece. I'm not going to let it break me, whatever. So I'm tattooing. SJ came by that same fucking minute. I can't sit up here and make this up. And she gave me a card. And I still have the card. And the card said, I know your struggles. I know your pain. You're not alone. I'm so sorry for your loss. You inspire others.
Yes.
I read that card like 30 times, bro. That's how much I studied that shit. In my head, my dad was saying, out with the old, in with the new. Out with the old, in with the new. That's all I kept hearing while I was tattooing. I literally stopped in the middle of the tattoo. I packaged up the brand new machine. I signed it. I gave it to SJ. Just because of that card she gave me. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
So that, I don't know. It was just something about that moment with that girl. It just made me better. Like, just having her come up. It was like an angel, bro. It was like, I don't even know her from a hole in the wall.
Right.
She walked to my booth and everything lit up. Like, everything was just like, okay, I have a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way I could sit in the booth and cry and weep and give up and just walk away. Her light was just it was just so bright. I was like, you know what? I can't give much. I can't give a machine up to help her inspire. So whatever tattoo she do, I have a part in that. You know what I'm saying? And I hope she becomes phenomenal from it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we still keep in contact all to this day. Like, she talks to me, she hits me up on Twitter, on TikTok. Like, great girl. And I didn't expect anything from it. You know, she was like, Pooch, are you serious? I was like, yeah, take it. Like, it's yours. I signed it in front of her, and she was just like, Oh my God. And those of y'all asking what machine it was the Cheyenne, the Soul Unlimited. Like it wasn't the cheap machine,
nice.
but
right.
but it was just like
That's amazing.
it was just like here, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Wow.
Such a blessing. And that was a miracle to her in that moment.
Right.
Again, she just gave hers away, not knowing that she was going to get it back tenfold coming from Pooch himself. And then I think she went back and thanked you and probably let you know like what really just happened, to where then he ended up signing it all for and shit. She came to us in tears of gratitude, Pooch. It was just miraculous, man.
Yeah, but she don't understand like what she did saved my life. You know what I'm saying? Her energy gave me a reason to not fold. So I'm more of the blessed one than what she is. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Wow. That's what a beautiful story.
Oh.
And that's like what you said, like you never know, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
My God. So good. Man, how many of y'all listening right now that thought you worked hard? How many of y'all listening thought you fucking wanted this life? Right?
I'm getting up early
and
tomorrow.
It's not planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not planned. You just got to sit up here and do it. Like I'm going to start giving away seminars for free. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have I'm going to be doing a lot of different things because I'm blessed enough to have the talent and be who I am. I want to give the opportunity to people that's less fortunate. Like I had a seminar 2 months ago, and an artist reached out to me who was living in his car, like was going to sell his car to take my seminar.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you can't do that. So I literally, he came for my seminar for a full day. I told him, I gave him a full set of ink. I gave him machines. I gave him everything to start off, and he's doing phenomenal now. Those are the things I live for right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the trophies and all that shit is good, but that energy, that vibe to inspire people, to change people's life, to have my tattoos mean something, to have them be like, to have somebody, you know what I'm saying, who's hurting really bad and want that significant other portrait. And to stare at it every day and change their life and impact it. I'm all about that, brother. Like, it's so inspiring. It's so good for me.
Yep, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
There's no trophy in the world can beat that. Like, nope. I'm sorry. Like,
yes, it's so good, man. And coming up, and you just peppered in just little, increments of time. You've been through so much, God only knows, but all along the way, in the shit that most people run from or the shit that takes people out, you faced head on because somehow you were wise enough to know that I must face this and go through it, for it's the very thing that's going to develop my character to be able to actually become the man that I've declared I'm stepping into becoming. Instead of running from it, you surrendered and went through the process and trusted it, knowing it's developing your character. And right there, man, is just powerful, because most people don't even see it that way. Others can hear it in theory, but that don't mean they actually going to do it and be it like you have, sir. And so that's beautiful. Yes. But I wonder, all along the way, even back when, when you got lynched from the Hells Angels, when you were sleeping next to a dumpster, like, what do you think was on the inside of you? That, because I feel like you had a knowing that no matter what odds, no matter what comes against me, that I know I'm going to make it. And so you were able to not give up, but trust the process. And what do you think that was on the inside of you?
Honestly speaking, God, man. Like, yeah. I everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a purpose. I knew, still to this day, it's not me being arrogant. I know I'm put here for a reason, and I'm fucking phenomenal. I'm great. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
So,
man, I love that.
So for me, for me, it's like, I need to be here, bro. Like I went through that ass whooping. I went through sleeping on the side of the dumpsters, and that whole time of me going through that, I never looked at like, man, is it ever going to happen? Me, it was just like, it's going to happen. I don't know when, but this is the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't never let my downfalls define who I am as a man. Like, I'm always like, okay, I'm going through this right now. It's for a fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through the struggle right now. I got my ass whooped all by these motherfuckers, whatever the case may be. Don't get me wrong. I'm cool with Hells Angels. I have no problems with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of Hell's Angels out there. I don't want nobody all think that I'm bashing them.
Yeah.
That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? And some of them are great guys. But at that time period, it just was that. It was that, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't take that ass whooping and was just like, that's it, I'm going to quit. I'm like, okay, this is part of the process. You know what?
My God.
Okay, well, I can't do this. So now I got to, honestly, I got to do another route. And I think, and what's crazy, it might sound crazy. I'm thankful for that ass whooping. I'm going to explain to you why. If I would have had the easy way, there's no way I would have been who I am today. But because of that ass whooping, I was forced to go to school to have a nursing degree. Or because I got that ass whooping, I was sit up here and forced to go to cosmetology school and understand color theory because ain't nobody in the streets would have taught me that. So I learned my techniques through professors in school. I didn't learn it through a tattoo artist. I learned it from somebody else. I went and got me a better education and surrounded myself around other great artists and traveled the world and did whatever I had to do. So that ass whooping was for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just steered me in a whole different direction. Me sleeping out in the street was a wake up call. Like, okay, well, you know what, dude? It's not all roses. It is a trial and error in this shit. But I knew I was going to be here. I knew I had something great in me that had to come out. So it was just a process, you know?
My God. And we've mentioned on the show many times before the distinction, but because so many people ask the question, man, why has this happened to me? Why is this happening to me? And what we've shared with our audience in the past is life does not happen to you as much as it happens for you. And you can get to that level that you're in right now, Pooch, is that life happens for you and even through you. Like right
and what's crazy
now.
And what's crazy is a person can ask for God. He could get on his knees and pray to God. Hey, God, I need a house. I need a house. I need a house. I need a house. And God can give you opportunities, so you can get that house. But everybody won't accept it. Everybody will sit back and waiting for him to plant a house for them. Like you have to crawl before you walk. You have to get your blessings and learn from them and move on. And sooner or later, you're going to get the house. Everybody wants that instant whole, like even in tattooing, all the artists I've met all want that instant, you know,
all the time.
Hey, I want it now. Instead of, okay, well, I'm going to learn color theory. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn machines. I'm going to learn cartridges. I'm going to learn skin. And then hopefully in 2 months, I'll be in a better plateau. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in a better whole situation, you know?
Yes. Oh, that's so good. And we say it all the time. You're either going to win or you're going to learn. And both are valuable. And we'll take it as far as I think them L's are way more valuable because success is a shitty teacher. It's those L's that actually develop us to learn and to adapt and to adjust.
100%.
Dude, I embrace failure. I embrace it, bro.
Yes.
I embrace the failure thing because if you fall, it's lessons, man, and you learn quick. Like, okay, I can't do this again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sit back and be like, oh, this is a bad idea. I'm not going to do that again.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it's good with the bad. You can't always have good. You have to have the bad sometimes and learn from it. You know what I'm saying? If you keep on doing the same dumb shit.
I think if you had only good, as wonderful as that sounds, I think you'd quickly get burnt out. You know what I mean? It's like if you didn't have any struggles at all, I think as humans, we don't realize that, but we do crave that.
You've got to have contrast.
It's not valuable if it hasn't cost me anything. Right.
Yeah.
Man, my God.
And when it costs you everything, you appreciate it more.
Way more.
Big time. Big time, man. You know, another distinction that I'd like to speak to that you've been sharing is because so many, we hear statistics like if a man was to focus on one thing, 1 hour a day for 5 years straight, at the end of that 5 years, that man would become an expert at that one thing. So people, tattoo artists, apprentices, sign themselves up for these arbitrary timelines. I'm going to work on this every day, and by this end of the season or by this mark, I will be that thing. And they fall into the trap of looking at clocks and asking the question, how long? 5 years? Okay, now it's 4 years. Now it's 3 years. Or 5 months. Now it's 4 months. Now it's how long? How much longer until I can be the thing? But somewhere along the line, it's the brothers, I believe, that switch the question up instead of asking how much longer. And no matter where they're at in their process, they change the question to how far could I go? How much could I grow? Right?
There you
And
go.
just expand right there where you're at. And time's malleable.
Yes.
The dudes that start living into the question, how far could I actually take this? How far could I actually go? Are the ones that seem to fucking hit that timeline way quicker than the other ones that were just biting their time asking how long.
Right.
Right.
Like what's crazy, and I do this to most artists too, because I do it to myself. People be like, well, Pooch, how many hours do you draw? I draw as much as the whole time as I need. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say a small example. I have a problem with hands, right? You got most artists that draw a hand on Monday, they'll probably sketch a hand on Tuesday. No. If I have a problem with hands, here's Monday, I'm gonna draw the pinky. Here's Tuesday, I'm gonna draw this finger. And then Wednesday, I'm gonna draw this finger. And then at the end of the week, I'm gonna draw the whole hand. So each day I'm understanding small things at a time. So when the weekend comes and I draw that hand, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand everything that you're doing. You can't just go, okay, I have a problem with this, so I'm gonna study this all week, and I know at the end of the week I'm gonna get it. No, you're not. It takes time. There's no way I do my portraits I did, you know what I'm saying, whole 2 months ago. I'm a whole different artist now. Like I tell anybody, I'm a beast, bro. My ambition is through the roof, bro. There's artists out there who's more talented than me. There's artists out there that's better than me, but I haven't met no artist that has any nothing more hunger than me. How my hunger is
I agree 100%.
crazy.
It's on a level. It's on a level that's like. I literally can't think of it, and I consider myself this whole podcast extremely hard workers. Matt is just a go, never stop. But you're special on that end, though. You really.
Fuck yeah.
It's also like how intelligent you are, though, because you're like, you seem to quickly go, okay, that didn't work, like you said earlier. I'm going to do this, right? And you put it into action right away, but you were able to come up with it so fast. And that's just so rare.
Yes.
It's so rare. It's a beautiful thing to see. So I think whatever you chose to do, whether it was tattooing, thank God it was, or, if you wanted to make dresses, I guarantee you those have been some damn nice dresses that you spent a lot of fucking time studying. Whatever you chose
everything
to
I
be.
do have to be of quality. Like, so when I'm working on, I'm definitely going to put my all into it, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm doing everything of quality because I feel like, it needs to be that. Like, I don't understand how the tattoo industry forgot how to have class, how to have elegance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to look like the same person next to you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The biggest thing is respect, bro. Like, like if you see somebody that's an OG or going through something, instead of you sitting up here putting them, I hear all the time in conventions, oh, well, how come he won and I lost and that shit was shit and that shit, bro, stop putting each other down and uplift each other. Like, yo, it was a great job. It beat me. Okay, well, you know what? It was something in it probably that's going to have me, you know what I'm saying, step my game up. Like, stop downplaying everybody. Stop putting everybody down,
Hip
man.
was
Like,
just at a show with
uplift
me.
each other.
Hip was just at a show with me, and they were about to fucking start punching each other over your tattoo is better than mine type of. Not Hip wasn't, but he was there. But over a fucking trophy, you know what I mean? It was like, man, it's ridiculous. Do you remember that, Hip?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And Josh, earlier in the year, you told me like that you feel, because I'm guilty of trophy chasing and having to receive hardware to validate me, right? And you told me like you're going to start distancing yourself from that, and I actually have. And it's kind of freeing, and ultimately, like it's a more. I feel like it's a level of maturity, and just kind of like what Pooch was talking about, man. It's like we need to celebrate each other, because I've always had that hunger. Like if someone beats me, it's like cool, okay, cool. I need to study what they did, how it beat me, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it's beautiful, and I still fucking go after shit like that. But just freeing myself to be the best that I can be, and I don't need validation from other people, has allowed me to like really enjoy the process and kind of put the result on the back burner, because it's the process.
Yeah, and it shows. What's the last couple of texts I've sent you? I'm like, man, I know I say it all the time. It probably doesn't sound as important anymore because I'm oversaying it. This is the best work. You're doing the best work of your life.
Well, hold on
so
real
that
quick.
freeing,
No.
Yeah.
Anytime Joshua Carlton compliments my artwork, it still fucking hits heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Good.
Bro,
That'll never get old.
It still sparks me. So like when he come up to a convention, yo, bro, I still get nervous when Josh come up. Like I'm like,
yes.
and he walks up and he's like, brother, that's badass. And I'm like, thanks, bro. Thank you. Yo, as soon as he leave, I'm like, okay.
You can just feel him over behind you, and you don't want to like wipe away, right? So he can see like your fuck ups.
And he's like a ninja. He walks in smooth and swift, like badass. And I'm like, oh, Josh, hey, how's it going? No, like you know. But it's to me like, you know, to see my OGs and to see like the people I looked up to and see them and be like, oh my God, that's fucking dope. To me, that means everything to me because I learned this from you. You know what I'm saying? Like I picked this up from you, and the fact that you're taking time out of your day to go, that's fucking dope. To me, that's like, okay, he sees something in me that's fucking great. Like he took my seminar, bro. Like he was in there, and I'm like, why is Josh here? Like so I don't know what to say, bro. Like, is all the stuff I'm saying correct? like, you know,
I love learning. I love learning.
Yes. So you learn from everybody.
So I've been sitting here thinking about whether to tell you this because, you know, this is like information we generally keep to ourselves, but your seminar is one of the top rated seminars we've ever had at Evergreen.
Come on.
Yeah. When you ask like, what did you get out of the most? What did you like the most? You know, he's up there, unbelievably high up there. So
nice.
I love it. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Put the work in, you know.
I love to hear that, man. Like so many artists learn from it. I would love to do another one. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I love hearing that, bro. Because here's the thing. If I teach somebody and they blow up and they get even better, as the artist in me,
that's fucking amazing.
As a competitor, it's gonna make me better.
Yes.
Because I'm like, this motherfucker took my seminar and he outdid me. Oh fuck that, bro. Like, nah, I'm getting back. Yeah, I'm getting back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? But you still gotta pay homage. Like Steve Butcher is one of the. What's crazy? I've been tattooing for 20 something years. He got his 12 years in just now. And people look at me like, yo, bro, but his art history, his understanding on detail and shit is through the roof. Out of respect for my brother, if we go to a convention and he's done, I stop what I'm doing and break him down. You gotta you have to show humility. You have to show a respect because he took time out of his time for the year to teach me something that gave me a better opportunity to tattoo better and provide for my family. So for me, I will always be that guy. As soon as he's done, he'll look at me like, yo, bro, I'm done. All right, cool. I'll take off my gloves. I'm like, hold on 1 second. Clean him up, straighten out his shit, boom, boom, boom. I'll throw it everything away. And he looks at me and I'm like, yo, it's respect, bro. Like, it's respect. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who mentors you, you have to get respect. It does not stop at the apprenticeship.
Come on.
It's for life. You know what I'm saying? You got to always show that love. Like when I see Josh, because I thought he got better, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't see anything from Instagram and anything. And when I see him this year at the convention, like I literally like cried, bro, like sobbed, bro, because my brother's doing great. But Josh, and I'm so proud of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you're fighting and you're pulling through, but you don't understand. I've known him for my whole tattoo career. Like I've seen him, you know what I'm saying? We see each other in conventions. We travel the world. People don't understand, like us as tattoo artists, I spend more time with my tattoo family over than my actual family because we're constantly on the road doing certain things. So to see my brother sick like that and there's nothing I can do breaks your fucking heart. You know what I'm saying? Like it shatters your shit. But then you see the person still moving around, still at the convention. Like that shit inspired me so much. I'm like, damn, here this man is on his deathbed, like tired, drained the fuck out. And he was at the convention every day. Every day. I'm like, I have no excuse, yo. Like I have no fucking excuse. And that just fueled my fire even more. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? If Josh can do it, I know I can. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I can. So that it sparked me up. You know what I'm saying? And through your pain, it sparked me up. I'm hoping it sparks me up and it inspires another artist.
Yes.
And it inspires another artist. And it inspires another artist and another person. You know what I'm saying? Like all that comes hand in hand. And Riley's a great fucking guy.
Right.
Like I love Riley.
I was
you know what I'm saying?
Riley's one of my life coaches. You know, he's one of the first people that
he's the greatest guy in the world.
He's one of the first people that made me realize the power of like the value of your life. Like, yeah, you're hustling and you're busy and all this, but is there value in your life? And there was a lot of things that weren't. And he was like, cut all that shit out. And I didn't even think about it like that, you know? So I've got a lot of coaches. Just because I coach people doesn't mean I can't learn. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you never know who you can learn from, you know?
Yes.
Some people are very, Matt's a great example of, you know, it's very obvious he's a teacher. He's born to teach. He does an incredible job at it. Riley was a little more low key about it. Just kind of a quality of life, bro, kind of thing is what he told me, you know?
Yeah.
And it really helped a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Like I love Riley, bro. Like everything. I mean, like the time when I seen you, Josh, and I was just like, you know, I stopped to see. Like that was crazy because once you walk by, he's like 2 seconds behind you, and like he see me fold, and he just grabbed me. He's like, "Yo, Pooch." I'm like, "Yo, bro, like you don't understand. Like it's Josh, bro. Like I love Josh. I've known him for years. He inspired me to be a great artist, bro. I can't like I broke, bro." And Riley grabbed me and held me, and he was just like, "Yo, he's gonna be okay." I'm like, "Are you sure, Riley?" He was like, "Yo, he's gonna be okay."
I got too much shit. I got too much to give, man. I'm not going anywhere.
That's right.
Oh, I know. And then after he said that shit, I looked at your page 2 days later. You're making music. You're painting again. You're fucking tattooing. I'm like, this motherfucker's a cyborg, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Cool. I appreciate you noticing, man. Thank you so much.
Man.
Oh, I pay attention to everything.
Well, on the acknowledgments popping off on here right now, the respect you were talking about, no matter what level you're at, it's under the umbrella always respect. And instead of artists, I know today's show's inspired everybody in so many ways. But instead of artists, and Hip was trying to bring this up, so much is changing right now in our industry. Instead of artists fronting and flexing and trying to outdo one another, and God forbid even fight over some hardware, why not try and outserve one another? Show respect for one another. Lift one another up, like you were saying, Pooch. Like, how dope would it be if we are all trying to outdo one another with our respect and service and breaking one another to how can we support you and outserve you in any way, shape, or form, man?
Yeah, because abundance is there. There's plenty. There's plenty.
That's it.
Yes, there is. There's so much. If people just have the sense of humility and just treat people with like what's crazy is like everybody asks like, have you ever seen me in a show with an argument with anybody? Have you ever seen me in a show have a scream out match? Have you ever seen anybody in a group of conversation say that they hate Pooch? You will never hear that ever because I give the positive energy that I want in return. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even if you don't like me or my artwork, you're still going to respect me.
Right.
And what that comes from, oh, well, he's cool with Josh. He's cool with Matt. He's cool with Nico. He's cool with Roman. He's cool with this. He's cool with that. He's cool with that. So if anybody who comes inside that bubble and speak harsh about me, I don't even have to say nothing. My friends would be like, well,
oh, yeah, you would. Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
no.
You know what I'm saying? So all the stuff that I make and the clothes that I sell and the ointment that I'm making and stuff like that, it's being sold because people know my brand and know me that I'm not going to use nothing if it's not of quality. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a good guy. I'm a good person. So people,
not only are you not going to use something, you're not going to use people. You've never asked.
Exactly.
You've never asked me for anything. None of you guys on this table have asked me for anything. I might have a ridiculous amount of Facebook friends, but my actual real people.
Okay, come on. Everything okay?
I don't know. She's just crying right now.
Okay, we'll climb up here. I'll wrap you up. No, you fine. You fine, guys. Climb up here. No, it's fine. You fine. Yeah.
So is he taking a short break?
No, I'm just cleaning them up right now, but you guys can still talk. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I think unless I'm interrupting anybody, it's a great time to kind of say, I can't describe my love for you, man. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad for these random texts that we do here and there, and we
bro.
think so alike, and you've done a lot more than I think you realize for the tattoo industry, but you've done a lot more for me. You know, it's just putting a smile on my face. So
I appreciate it so much. I love you guys so much.
hell yeah.
Yes, brother.
I never in a million years would want you to think, oh yeah, we're the tattoo podcast and we'll get anybody on. Like, you know, we respectfully reach out to you. We don't want to just assume and cut and paste like you've said other things have done in the past. You know, I feel like we've had a real conversation. Honestly, this is probably one of my absolute favorite podcasts we've ever done.
I had so much fun. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fucking fun.
But so yes, thank you so much. And to our listeners, if you're not familiar with his work, you're going to fall in love with it as soon as you see it. What's the best way for someone to get in touch with you? Well, go ahead and put links in the bottom. This is also on YouTube, Pooch. It's not just through audio. But I'm sure you're booked like crazy. But at least they can reach out to you. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Hey, the best way to reach me is my website is poochfinearts.com.
Okay.
Or you can call the shop. I have the number on Google and everything.
Okay.
Anybody who's trying to learn or pick up a seminar or do anything of the sort, you can definitely hit me up and reach out to me. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Poochfinearts.com, right?
Yeah.
Pooch. Yeah, great. For our listeners, spell Pooch for us.
POCH.
Okay. POCH, finearts.com.
Hell yeah.
.com. Easy.
Love it. Love it. Pooch, what's one question that you wished we would have asked you tonight?
You want the truth?
Yes.
You guys touched on everything I wanted to talk about.
Come on.
Oh shit.
Good.
I'm dead serious. Dead serious.
Brother. Good.
You guys touched on everything, I wanted to talk about.
Okay, good. Because I know you had some things on your heart before we actually started recording. I just wanted to make sure you feel like complete and got the opportunity to share.
No,
anything.
all the stuff that you guys asked me was pretty much all the things I want to cover. You know, like all of that is important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
I didn't need to get into anything else. If you guys have any questions or stuff that you didn't get into, you can ask me away.
I'd like to use you as an example of, we recently had a show of the exact opposite of what Pooch brings to the light. You know,
Yeah, we did.
So
What?
Rarity. People got to see me get pretty mad. I don't know if I told you guys.
I gotta hear this.
I got way madder after we were done, by the way. But
What happened?
we started having people call in. They can kind of like do a recording. And the guy called in and started out fine, just started apprenticing, and then just went on about how much he hated tattooing, hates the clients. He hated everything about it. You know, I got you sleeping next to garbage cans, and this guy's not even fucking finished his apprenticeship. And I just kind of flipped a gear, man. I was like, you know what? Not everybody deserves to tattoo, you know, and it could have gone way, way worse.
Wait, he called the podcast and said that?
Yeah. And I fucking was done, man. I was pissed. Everybody was actually.
So he did an apprenticeship, and then he's
he's 2.5 months into it.
2.5 months. Hates customers, hates people. All he cares about is getting that money when the tattoo's done. You know, don't fucking come into my house and step on my fucking tattooing. Fuck you. Not having it.
Yeah.
You got somebody like Pooch. Very rare. You don't really have someone like Pooch. You've got Pooch, and then you've got people that are similar.
It was an honor, bro.
But
My God.
please understand the difference and look to lean Pooch's way.
What's crazy is that, and I'm glad you put wait, so I gotta laugh. He was 2 months in and called you talking shit.
Yeah.
Can you believe? See,
2 months in.
We want to be unscripted, so we don't look at these calls first.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
And his main question after he shared his heart was, when should someone just throw in the towel or not?
And I'm like,
so,
now.
you know, because, right. Usually we're trying to encourage the world to not give up. But this one, Josh was like, maybe not.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You want to hear something crazy is I don't have an apprentice, right? I've had one and it didn't work out. But people ask me that all the time. Hey, Pooch, when you get an apprentice, here's what I would want for an apprentice. You have to give me 5 years.
Ooh.
You can't touch them for 5 years. Here's the reason why. The first year, I want to understand who you are as a person and why are you getting into tattooing. Off the second year, it's all about art. You have to understand the things that you want to do and what type of style you want to do, you know? The third year is technique and understanding your tools. Like, I know about cartridges. I know about ink. I know what it's cut with. I come from an old school background. I build coil machines. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know all of that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just hop in and say, I want to be a tattoo artist, boom, boom. On the fourth year, it's me sitting down with you, understanding certain things and how the skin works and boom, boom. On your fifth year, you can go and tattoo. But I at least need 5 years, because if you go to college for anything for a degree, it's 4 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? You got to give me the 5 years. Like, hand me the 5 years of dedicated time and effort. You seeing the struggles, you understanding the tools of the trade, because it's my name on the line and I'm giving you a career. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so for him to say 2 months in and wow.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, I don't even want to, I hope he never calls back. You know what I mean? I don't, like, I give people chances all the time. I love to help. And, you know, and honestly, I would still sit down with the guy, of course. But man, in that moment,
And Pooch today has shown up with such contrast.
Exactly. What a wonderful timing, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That's how you act.
Good, man. Yeah.
Well, man, it's really just such a blessing. I know our listeners will want it. I would love to have a part 2 if you guys are down.
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. And
let's do it.
I hate to jump off, but I definitely got to go take some medication. And I love you guys. And all of your energy about, you know, like you said earlier about that I'm going to make it and this and that, just know that helps me. Even if you never tell me, if you think about it, know that energy is helping me.
Yes.
You know, right now my new goal is to get out of the wheelchair. And that's manageable chunks. Step 1, get out of the wheelchair. I got an x-ray tomorrow morning, and I stay positive, you know, and I still love tattooing. I just miss it so much, you know. But I'm teaching and I'm helping and I'm keeping my hands busy. So I'm doing things and stuff like this really, really helps. Before we started, I called the guy, or I texted the guys, and they're very used to it. Me dipping out right before we start. I'll just get sick. And they've been great about it. But man, I was like, I gotta try. And like, seriously, as soon as I plugged my iPad in, I felt the energy, you know, because I knew how important this was to me. So, thank you, Pooch.
No, thank you, brother. And understand you are not alone. And, you know, I'm always here for you for anything you may need. All you gotta do is pick up the phone, bro, and I'm there.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love you guys.
God. Yeah.
Ain't no problem. Love you too, bro.
Yes, big time. I think the whole world, you know, just became even bigger Pooch and Josh Carlton fans. Wouldn't you say, Hip?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we already revered the man, you know, but my God, now getting to know more of the heart of the man, fucking even cooler.
I love it.
Yeah, so good.
Awesome.
Thank you for serving us from your table tonight, Pooch,
yes,
and
thank
showing
you
up
so
for
much.
us, man.
No problem, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me, man. This was definitely an honor.
Oh, boy, you got us fired up. This episode, we might as well just call it Pooch on Fire. Boy,
boom, yeah.
There you go. Hold on for part 2.
You know? Hey, you listeners, press rewind if he didn't blow your mind, right? Come on. Yes. Happy day. To all you tattoo guardians out there all over the world, thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for tuning in. And not only do I hope, but I know that today's episode was the word that you needed to hear.
Absolutely.
To keep fucking going and to turn it up. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you next week.
Man, what time is it? 12:14 a.m. Matt, I don't know about you, but I like coffee.
You know I do, every day, all day.
Man, and I could go for one right now. So our listeners, did you know that you can buy us a coffee?
For real?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Well, if you like what we do and you support our show and you appreciate our content, you can just go and click that little button that our producer Mike puts in every show and buy us a coffee, just to show your contribution that you appreciate what we do for you to help us out.
People can really buy us a coffee?
Totally.
I would be honored if you bought me a coffee.
And not only that, but we got a little spot. It's special for the VIP listeners. It's called Close Friends on Instagram. And on there, you can see some behind the scenes content. And when the cameras ain't running, seeing all the shit we'd be talking about each other.
Is that true, Mike? Damn, you guys, this is the first I've heard about either of these. So they can buy you or me a coffee.
Or Mr. Carlton.
Or Mr. Carlton. And like get a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Yeah.
By doing what again?
Fucking smashing that button.
Okay. What button you talking about? I want to smash the button.
It's the button on the fucking thing.
Okay. Do it. Just do it.
Absolutely demolish the button. But thanks for your time again, and we appreciate all our listeners.
Always.